majority of the time.
Well, even these forward 50 stoppages, you see, they weren't anything special. They were just quick, scrappy kicks. Ball, kicked a good one there. There was another one early on as well. In that third quarter, I think they kicked, second quarter, sorry, they kicked 2 or 3 goals from forward 50 stoppages. And as we said, they just created something out of nothing, and that's what good teams do.
Yeah, the danger, I guess, going into the game was we all thought that perhaps Collingwood, with their tall power players in Cloak and Dawes, were going to do the damage. But Joey's right. They had the ball, and it's the sexy stat of the AFL at the moment. Ball in your forward half. Collingwood have been dominating that for a long time, so they've been able to keep it in there and almost look like they scrubber goals forward. But that's probably paying a bit of a disservice to the structure they have around the stoppage, Jim. And you've commented a couple of times about how well structured the Collingwood side are around the stoppage situation.
Yeah, certainly. As they've worked the ball forward, it enables their defenders and everybody else to get up the ground and squeeze the ball in their half.
2 remarkable stories this year developing. Jared Blair debuted last year, kicked 5 tonight, 10 for the season. As Bruce said, I think 1 losing side. But Andrew Cracker, extraordinary, 100 and something games with Richmond, goes to jail for 16 months, goes and wins the Norm Smith medal equivalent, the Brownlow equivalent, best and fairest of premiership, and now he's broken into this side and is an unbelievable player to watch.
Yeah, and we're talking about off-air whether they've actually improved from last season, and no doubt I think they have, because of blokes like Jared Blair and Andrew Cracker coming into the side. They're just adding some more firepower up forward, and they're really, but you know, if they don't have Cloak and Dawes kicking goals, they've got these smaller guys kicking goals, and they're just so dangerous all around the forward line.
Let's go down to the rooms. I think Tim Watson is with Heath Shaw, who's a part of this unbelievable back six.
Well, Heath, congratulations on being judged best on ground tonight.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a bit of a surprise. Blair kicked 5. I thought he was a bit of a shoo-in, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result we had tonight, and everyone played their role, and yeah, it was good to get a win.
The performance, how would you describe the performance tonight overall?
I reckon we're a bit up and down. I think we started pretty well, and then we took the foot off for a couple of minutes and they kick a few goals. So that's something that obviously will take time to build that consistency over those 4 quarters. But overall, we got challenged a couple of times, and we managed to kick back, and we come away with a pretty solid win.
There's no rest though, is there? I mean, every week there's somebody coming at you.
Yeah, definitely. It's that old cliche, week by week, and we're reigning premiers. Everyone wants to knock us off, and we've just got to meet that challenge head on. Carlton, they threw everything at us tonight, and we come up with a win, which was a good result for us.
You unfurled the flag tonight. Were you thinking about that at all in the lead up to the game tonight?
Nah, not really, mate. That was 2010. We're concentrating on 2011, and we just want to put in a good performance each week, build on our structures, build on our weaknesses that we have, and hopefully we come up with the wins.
Congratulations and well done on winning the Peter Mac medal tonight.
Thanks very much, mate.
The post-match show brought to you by Bendigo Bank.
He's got very, very clever feet, Alan Didak. The Pies, they win 3 from 3. The Blues haven't beat a ladder leader for 10 years. The last time they beat the top of the table side was Essendon in 2001. As we heard earlier, Jared Blair kicked 5 for the first time in his career. And in the end, it was the Pies, 28-point winners after the Blues won by 1 point. Nick Maxwell collected more silverware for the Westpac Centre. That'll just go alongside last year's Premiership trophy, alongside the NAB Cup. And if you're not a Collingwood supporter, this is just getting all too familiar. Maxie giving the cheesy grin with that little mo underneath his bottom lip.
Reverse mo.
Yeah, the reverse mo Nick Maxwell owns. Boys, we've got a few tweets coming in. One is from Crazy Rose. The sub rule has got to go. It's killing my super coach and my dream team.
Yeah, I actually have a Supercoach team, and it does affect it. Like tonight, I'm sure there would have been a few people having Leon Davis in their team, and you find out you get to the ground, he's a sub, so it's going to hurt a lot of Supercoach teams.
Now, Dennis has actually got a theory on this. He thinks if you've got a sub player in your dream team, that if he gets subbed off, you get their points, and then you also get the player who gets subbed on. So in this case, just say you had Walker, you get Walker's points and then Collins's points.
Not a bad theory, Dan.
Good theory from Dennis.
Plenty of theories. One quickly for you, Joey, before we go back to the Carlton match committee. Sipos looked good for Sandy. How is he coming along? Seniors soon?
Actually, Aaron Sipos, a young kid from Pakenham, played his first game for the club at Sandringham in the reserves and actually played really well. He's going to be a very good player in the future.
Going to ask you boys in a moment who you would have tagged tonight. Let's go back to the Carlton match committee. Brett Ratton discussed it during the week. Our cameras were there.
Who would you go after if it is we're going to tag one, given that we think Wellingham is probably going to go after Juddy?
We've had a couple of cracks at tagging Dane Swan. They've both been very unsuccessful. And Pendlebury's the one that, you know, he sets him up. Wouldn't mind seeing Judd go head-to-head with Swan at the stop plays, actually endeavouring to beat him and see if we can sit on Pendlebury, take away a bit of that time and space that he has, that he makes really good decisions and sends them on their way, you know.
Daunting thought, Swan or Pendlebury. They were both damaging tonight. Swan 37, but he was sort of innocuous.
Yeah, I actually, to be honest, spent a bit of time watching Dane Swan tonight live just to get a feel for how he gets so much footy. And to be honest, he was a bit innocuous tonight. It probably wasn't one of his most brilliant games. And I looked down his stats and he's had 34 possessions, 17 contested possessions and 10 clearances. You know, like it's a fair game by anyone's standards. But yet he just seems to have a knack of just knowing where the ball's going. And, you know, again, as I said, it wasn't his most brilliant game, but still had plenty of it.
It's pretty much pick your poison, really, with the two of them. They're both such great players. But I can understand what the Carlton match committee was saying, that Pendlebury, when he receives the ball in a bit of time and space, can really cut you up and have some damaging touches. But the match-up with Gibbs was a great battle, but I think what impressed me most was he was sat on pretty well by Gibbs, but he still managed to find 10 contested possessions, and that's a big thing in today's game, winning the ball.
Luke, congratulations on the performance again tonight. You guys just seem to have that extra gear that you go to when you're really seriously challenged. Do you feel that as a group?
Oh, I wouldn't say you feel that when you're out there, Tim. I think maybe the score shows that at the end, but geez, it was certainly a hard grind there tonight. And I think the good thing to come out of it is we feel like we're nowhere near our best yet, and that's not disrespecting the opposition at all. You know, they were probably a bit off their game tonight as well, but we feel like we just, you know, we need to just keep steadily improving every week, and tonight was another step against a really good opposition in form.
And some real dangerous players at ground level in your forward line now. Jared Blair kicked 5 goals tonight. Cracker always looks dangerous. Did just coming back into some real form too.
Yeah, well, it's important. I mean, you saw, they've, you know, most good sides have those ground level players these days, and it just makes probably Trav and Dawes' job a bit easier as well, to know that they've just got to be predictable and bring the ball to ground and know that those players that you mentioned are at their feet. And yeah, I think it was Blair who bobbed up and kicked 5 today, so you know, he's had a really good start to the year, but there's some pretty good pressure for spots on down there as well.
And you think the long kick to the goal square is coming back in vogue in modern day footy?
I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, I think that and the players just jogging up and down on the spot in that last quarter is coming right back into vogue. That last 15 minutes was unbelievable. I reckon they should have blown the horn about 15 minutes in, but I think early in the year, maybe the substitute rule a little bit as well is slowing it down a bit, but I don't think it's a bad thing now. I'm starting to come around a bit.
I know you've been working on the bid for a couple of years now. How do you reckon it's going?
This is about 2 weeks worth. I've got a little ball patch underneath there as well that I'm starting to get teased about, but I'm going to persist with it.
Luke, congratulations. Well done tonight.
Okay, Tim.
Something in that, Hammer.
Well, the last time someone said, OK, Tim, what happened?
Well, it was Mark Thompson, and Tim was recruit. I think it's code for recruit you coming to play for Essendon next year. So, Joey, you know Bawley pretty well. Any chance to be playing at the Bombers next year?
Well, there's every chance possibly, but yeah.
They've got too much pace there. They need to be slowed down. Tell me, you keep in touch with Luke?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I speak to Luke, yeah.
A man that you speak a lot to is Nick Revolt. He plays his 200th on the weekend. 5 words to describe the skipper of your side.
Yeah, you put me on the spot there, Hammer, but a couple of words I jotted down. Intelligent. He's a very smart man. Determined, intense, loyal, and I hate affectionate. He loves getting around the boys. He's very cuddly and very touchy, so the boys love the boys. He's a great fella. He's terrific to have around the footy club, not only with the way he leads by example as a footballer, but he's a great guy to have around the footy club.
How's he actually... he's had a pretty tumultuous off-season. How's he handling that pressure at the moment?
Yeah, look, he's taken his stride. I mean, obviously it's been a bit tough for him and he's probably felt a bit of that external pressure, but as I said, around the footy club, he's still, you know, one of the boys. He gets around everyone and when it's time to get to work and train hard, he still leads by example. So, you know, nothing changed with Nick. He's a true professional.
Well, you've got the Bombers for his 200th, Etihad Stadium Twilight-style. Schneider, Stevens, Stanley all come in. Smith makes his debut. Out go Baker. Hayes, terrible injury. Blake, a statement, and the debutant disappears. And Monfrey's in for Myers, who's got a hand injury. Talk me through Alistair Smith, if you could.
Yeah, Alistair Smith's been on
let's go to Revolt first. Sorry, these are the last few results against the Bombers. you guys have got a real problem with Essendon.
Yeah, they've had the wood on us the last 3 or 4 times. I think they've beaten us here. They've beaten us the last few times. I think really it's been a bit of their pace has sort of worried us. You know, they really try and open up the game and get the ball moving in their forward line really quickly. So we've spoken about this week about trying to, you know, not let their runners get off the chain too much. But hopefully we can put in a much better performance this week than we did last week, because last week we were disappointed with our intensity and how we played. So we're looking to bounce back this week and try and get after the Bombers, especially at the clearances, because if they spread from the clearances and the outside runners, Jetta and Zaharakis and Stanton and Winley, if they get going, then they're hard to stop. So we're really going to try and crack in.
Alistair Smith, debuts, emergency a few times last year, I think. Played a few NAB Cup games.
Yeah, he's been on the cusp for a long time now. He's actually a really good kid. He works really hard at training. He's going to run all day and he's going to crack in and compete. So he's been brought in the side. He gets his opportunity. Jackie Stevens back in the team. So we've brought in a few younger guys that are really going to give us some enthusiasm and crack in and try and sort of get a bit of a spark going.
Coaches have a crack every now and again. This was a headline during the week, Joe. I want to know how accurate this was. Harden up, lads, from Ross Lyon to the playing group.
Yeah, as I said, we were disappointed with our intensity last week, and you know, Richmond certainly went harder than us and showed in the scoreboard. You know, it ended up being a draw. So we've spoken about this week, and as I said, we've really got to crack in against the Tigers and against the Bombers and get after them, and hopefully we can stop their runners.
Before we go down and check in with Mick Malthouse in the presser, general mojo at St Kilda, you're 2 points away from being 2-0. And
yeah,
you're half a point.
Yeah, it's a fine line footy, as you said. I mean, we've had a 1 point loss in a draw. We could easily be 2-0, but not playing great football. Unfortunately, we haven't had a win yet. But look, the boys are really positive about this week. We've had a really good week on the track, spoken about a few issues, and definitely looking to bounce back.
Mick Malthouse, angry when they win, angry-ish when they lose. Wonder what it is tonight. Let's go down to his presser.
Yeah, it was a scrap. I don't know what to make of the game, quite frankly. I reckon we just slipped a little bit in our, what would I say the word would be? We just didn't. We tried to do things, a few things that really are not anywhere near what we expect of our player group. And I'm talking about kicks that were not to the right position. A little bit too clever, a little bit. We've got control of the ball. I'll do it. I've got the skill to kick it somewhere which is not ideally where we needed it or how we wanted it. Quick goals they got when we worked pretty hard for a few goals, and they answered pretty quickly. Well, second quarter was, I think, probably an exception, but just when we looked like we had the 5 goals or six goals, or I think it might have been 5 goals there at one stage, all of a sudden it's 3 goals. Because we just didn't really, I didn't think, put them away the way we should have. And take nothing away from Carlton, but I thought we were reasonably even. A few players weren't playing good football, but we had enough players playing well enough to put a bit more pressure on the scoreboard, and we didn't.